Hi everyone, welcome to Korean Express YouTube channel. Learning how to compare in Korean is very important because it helps you express your thoughts more clearly in daily life. So, I decided to make a video series where we learn how to make comparisons in Korean. In the previous video, we learned how to say more and less in Korean using 더 and 덜. If you have not watched that video yet, then don't worry, I'll share the link of the video in the description so you can go and watch that video. And in this video, we'll take it one step further and learn how to compare two things, like saying bigger than, spicier than, or less expensive than, using the particle 보다 along with 더 and 덜. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. First of all, let's see what is this particle 보다. So, as I said, 보다 is a Korean particle and basically it is used to compare two things. It is similar to saying than in English. So, if you want to see the English translation of this particle, then 보다 means than in English. With the help of this particle, we can say more than and less than in Korean, which is a very important phrase. More than, less than. These are very important phrases that are used in our day-to-day lives. Okay? So, for example, when we want to say A is bigger than B, suppose A and B are two nouns and A is bigger than B, we use 보다 after B, the thing we are comparing with. Okay, so here we are comparing A with B, so we place 보다 after B. Similarly, if we have to say A is smaller than B, again we use 보다 after B, the thing we are comparing with. So, the structure for using 보다 in sentences is something like this. So here, first we're talking about A is more in something than B. So we are comparing A with B. So A comes first, then B, and you have to attach 보다 to B, the thing you're comparing with. And then comes 더, which means more in Korean. And after that, you place the adjective or the adverb or the verb that is the basis of comparison. Okay, so B is the thing that you are comparing with, and therefore 보다 is attached to B, and after 보다 comes 더 in case of more than. In case of less than, the format is exactly the same, just change 더 with 덜, which means less. So it becomes less than. A is less in something than B. Okay? I hope you're getting this format. I hope you understand how to use 보다 in sentences to say more than and less than in Korean. Don't worry. Now we are going to take a look at the examples of using 보다 with 더 and 덜 in case of adjectives, verbs, and adverbs being used in Korean sentences. Okay, so let's go. First of all, let's see how to use 보다 with 더 to say more than in Korean in various sentences. So first of all, let's see how to use 보다 더 with adjectives. When you want to say something is more adjective than. For example, more beautiful than, more spicier than, more taller than. You place 보다 더 before the adjective. Okay? Just like we have seen in the structure for using 보다 더 in this video. So let's take a look at these examples. Then only you'll be able to understand this completely. Today is colder than yesterday. 오늘은 어제보다 더 추워요. Today is 오늘. Yesterday, 어제. To be cold, 춥다. In present tense, you conjugate it as 추워요. Now you have to say, today is colder than yesterday, or today is more cold than yesterday. So you're comparing today with yesterday. So 보다 is going to be attached to 어제. 어제 is yesterday. So it becomes 어제 보다. Than yesterday. Now you have to say colder than yesterday or more cold than yesterday. So you are going to use 더 for that. So 어제보다 더, more than yesterday. More cold than yesterday or colder than yesterday is 어제보다 더 추워요. This is how you frame the sentence. Okay? You see the thing you're comparing with. Here you're comparing today with yesterday. And so 보다 is attached to 어제, which means yesterday. Now you have to say more than. You use 더 for that. It becomes 어제보다 더. Okay? Next. Kimchi is spicier than 잡채. 김치는 잡채보다 더 매워요. Kimchi is written like this. 잡채 like this. You have to say spicier, more spicy than 잡채. So you are comparing kimchi with 잡채. So it becomes 잡채보다, more spicier. 잡채보다 더 매워요. Simple. Next. I am taller than my mom. 저는 어머니보다 키가 더 커요. I is 저는, mom, 어머니. To be tall, which means your height is more. Height in Korean is 키. To have big height, which means you're tall. So big height is 키가 커요. Here you are using the adjective 크다, which means to be big. So to have a big height, 키가 커요, means you are tall. Okay? Don't get confused. Now you have to say you're taller than your mom. So you're comparing yourself with your mom. So it is going to be 어머니보다. Now you have to say more tall. 키가 더 커요. Taller than my mom. 어머니보다 키가 더 커요. Okay? I hope you're getting this. Learn this step by step and frame the complete sentence. That way it will be very easy for you to understand this concept. Okay? Now, a very important note that I want to share with you. In these type of sentences, when bhoda is used with adjectives, it is okay to omit tho. You can remove tho because the meaning of more than is already understood from the context. Okay, the comparison with bhoda already implies more than. So for example, you can say 오늘은 어제보다 좋아요. And you can omit 더. Okay, this sentence is perfectly natural even without 더. However, adding 더 makes the comparison sound a bit clearer, so both ways are correct. What I want to say is, you can omit 더 in sentences like these. If you do so, then also it will be easily understood what you want to say. So, for example, you can say this sentence in two ways. Today is colder than yesterday in Korean can be 오늘은 어제보다 더 추워요. Or 오늘은 어제보다 좋아요. With 더 or without 더. Both cases are understood. Okay? But sometimes it is more natural to omit 더 in sentences. Okay? Now, let's move ahead and see how to use 보다 더 with verbs. So when you want to say you do something more than someone or more than something else, then you place 보다 더 before the verb. Okay? Let's take a look at the examples to understand. I will study more than yesterday. 저는 어제보다 더 공부할 거예요. I is 저는, study 공부하다, future tense 공부할 거예요. Yesterday is 어제. Now you're comparing with yesterday. More than yesterday. Very simple. 어제보다 더. Okay? It's going to be very easy. Believe me, once you know the concept, once you know the pattern for using 보다 in sentences, you'll very easily frame sentences. I ate more pizza than my sister. 저는 언니보다 피자를 더 먹었어요. I is 저는, sister, 언니. Pizza in Korean is pizza. To eat, 먹다, past tense 먹었어요. Ate more pizza than my sister. So you basically are comparing yourself to your sister. So it is going to be 언니보다. Then you're saying ate more. 더 먹었어요. So it is 언니보다 피자를 더 먹었어요. Okay? Next. My dad sleeps more than my mom. 우리 아버지는 엄마보다 더 자요. My dad, 우리 아버지. Or you can say 우리 아빠. Mom, 엄마, or 어머니. Sleep, 자다, present tense, 자요. Now you're comparing your dad with your mom. So it is going to be 엄마보다. Sleeps more than my mom. 엄마보다 더 자요. Okay? Now let's move ahead and see how to use 보다 더 with adverbs. When 보다 더 is used with an adverb, it means that the action is done more in the way of the adverb compared to something or someone else. In simple terms, 보다 더, when used with an adverb, in cases like you want to say that an action is performed more quickly, or an action is performed more carefully or more diligently than before, or than another person. Okay, so basically you are comparing the action on the basis of the adverb. Okay, an action is done more quickly than before. So you are comparing it with the help of an adverb. Okay, let's take a look at the examples. I will exercise harder than my friend. 저는 친구보다 더 열심히 운동할 거예요. I is 저는, friend, 친구. To exercise, 운동하다, future tense, 운동할 거예요. To exercise harder, 열심히 운동할 거예요. 열심히 here is the adverb. Now you're comparing with your friend. So it is going to be 친구보다. And you're saying, I will exercise harder than my friend. 친구보다 더 열심히 운동할 거예요. Okay? I hope you're getting this here. the action is done more in the way of the adverb. You'll exercise more harder or more diligently than your friend. Okay? Next example, I will travel more often than last year. 저는 작년보다 더 자주 여행 갈 거예요. I is 저는 travel. 여행 가다 future tense 여행 갈 거예요. Last year 작년. Often 자주. So will travel often. 자주 여행 갈 거예요. Will travel more often than last year. You're comparing with last year. So this 작년보다 더 자주 여행 갈 거예요. More often. 더 자주. Okay? Next. My brother ran faster than me. 오빠는 저보다 더 빨리 달렸어요. My brother, 오빠. To run. 달리다. Past tense 달렸어요. To run fast. 빨리 달렸어요. Ran faster than me. So you are comparing your brother with yourself. So it is 저보다 더 빨리 달렸어요. Now let's see how to use 보다 더 with counters. So 보다 더 can be used with counters to express that there is more of something than before, or there is more of something than another person, place, or thing. Okay, so basically you can compare the number of things, right? Let's take a look at the examples because I know that understanding definitions and explanations is very difficult, and therefore we need real life examples to understand how to use a particular grammar concept in sentences, right? Okay, so let's take a look at these examples. I bought 2 more chocolates than my friend. 저는 친구보다 초콜릿을 2개 더 샀어요. So here, I is 저는, friend is 친구, chocolate, 초콜릿. To buy, 사다, past tense, 샀어요. Now you have to say 2 more chocolates. 초콜릿을 2개 더. Simple. You have to say 2 more chocolates than my friend. Now you are comparing with your friend, and therefore it is 친구보다 초콜릿을 2개 더. Okay? Focus on this phrase and you'll be able to understand what it means, right? Next is I will drink 3 more cups of coffee than yesterday. 저는 어제보다 커피를 3잔 더 마실 거예요. I is 저는, yesterday, 어제. Coffee, 커피. To drink, 마시다, future tense, 마실 거예요. Now you have to say, drink 3 more cups of coffee. 커피를 3잔 더 마실 거예요. Simple. But focus on I will drink 3 more cups of coffee than yesterday. You're comparing it with yesterday. So it is 어제보다. Drink 3 more cups of coffee than yesterday. 어제보다 커피를 3잔 더 마실 거예요. Okay? Next. This house has 4 more bedrooms than that house. 이 집은 그 집보다 침실이 사실 더 있어요. So you're comparing this house with that house. 이 집은 그 집보다 4 more bedrooms. 침실이 사실 더 있어요. 4 more bedrooms than that house. 그 집보다 침실이 사실 더 있어요. Okay? Go step by step and you will be able to form the sentence. One important thing here in the last example, 실 is the specific counter that is used for rooms. However, in daily conversation, many Koreans they use ke as a general counter instead of the specific ones. Okay, ke we all know is the general counter. The one that we have used over here in the first example, 초콜릿 2개. So ke is a general counter that is very commonly used for counting many things in the Korean language. So over here, instead of still, ke could also be used. So you can say 사개, 사개 더 있어요. Okay? It is also commonly heard and perfectly natural, so don't get confused. I have used still over here because that is the proper, appropriate counter for counting rooms. But keep this in mind that you can also use ke over here, and that is completely okay. All right? Now, let's move ahead and see how to use 보다 덜, less than in Korean sentences. So first of all, we are going to learn the usage of 보다 덜 with adjectives. When you want to say something is less adjective than, okay, something is less pretty than, something is less beautiful than, you place 보다 덜 before the adjective. Okay, so let's take a look at these examples to understand how to use 보다 덜 in Korean sentences. This bag is less heavy than that one. 이 가방은 저 가방보다 덜 무거워요. Here, you're comparing two bags. So you're saying this bag, 이 가방, is less heavy than that one. That one, 저 가방. That bag, 저 가방. So you're comparing this bag with that bag. It is 저 가방보다 less heavy, 덜 무거워요. Less heavy than that one. 저 가방보다 덜 무거워요. Okay? You have to remember the same concept that we used while framing sentences with 보다 더 to say more than. Here also, you have to follow the same concept. The difference is instead of 더, you're going to use 덜, which means less. Okay? Next, my sister is less pretty than me. 제 언니는 저보다 덜 예뻐요. My sister, 제 언니. Than me, 저보다. Less pretty, 덜 예뻐요. Now you have to say less pretty than me. 저보다 덜 예뻐요. Simple. Today is less hot than yesterday. 오늘은 어제보다 덜 더워요. Today, 오늘, yesterday, 어제. Than yesterday, 어제보다. Less hot, 덜 더워요. Less hot than yesterday, 어제보다 덜 더워요. See, this is very simple. Now, very, very important point you have to keep in mind. These sentences, they are perfectly correct and will be easily understood. No problem. But in everyday Korean, it's often more natural to express the opposite meaning using 더 instead of 덜. Okay? Please remember this. So, these following sentences will sound more natural in this way. So the first one could be, this bag is lighter than that one. 이 가방은 저 가방보다 더 가벼워요. Okay? You can just write this sentence or convert this sentence into the opposite meaning using 더. Okay? Next, I am prettier than my sister, or I'm more pretty than my sister. 저는 제 언니보다 더 예뻐요. Okay? And the last one. Yesterday was hotter than today. 어제는 오늘보다 더 더워요. Or 더웠어요. Simple. So, this is how you can frame these sentences using 보다 더. The meaning will be same, no difference, but the point of view, it changes. Okay? I hope you're getting this. And as I said, it is more kind of natural to use 보다 더 instead of 보다 덜 in most of these situations. Okay? This is correct, no doubt, but please keep this in mind that 보다 더 is more commonly used. Okay, now let's see how to use 보다 덜 with verbs. When you want to say that you do something less than someone or something else, you place 보다 덜 before the verb. Let's take a look at the examples. My mom eats less than my dad. 우리 엄마는 아빠보다 덜 먹어요. 우리 엄마, my mom. Dad, 아빠. Eats less, 덜 먹어요. Eats less than my dad. 아빠보다 덜 먹어요. Okay? I will watch less TV than last year. 저는 작년보다 텔레비전을 덜 볼 거예요. I is 저는, last year, 작년. TV, 텔레비전. To watch, 보다, future tense, 볼 거예요. Watch less TV, 텔레비전을 덜 볼 거예요. Will watch less TV than last year. So you're comparing it with last year. It becomes 작년보다. 작년보다 텔레비전을 덜 볼 거예요. Okay? Next. This week, I exercised less than last week. 이번 주에는 지난주보다 덜 운동했어요. This week, 이번 주. Last week, 지난주. To exercise, 운동하다, past tense, 운동했어요. Exercised less. 덜 운동했어요. Exercised less than last week. 지난주보다 덜 운동했어요. Very simple. Now, let's move ahead and see how to use 보다 덜 with adverbs. When 보다 덜 is used with an adverb, it means that the action is done less in the way of the adverb compared to someone or something else. So in simple terms, 보다 덜, when combined with adverb, is used when you want to say that an action is performed, for example, less diligently or less often or less quickly and so on than before or than another person. Okay, so here the comparison is based on the action being done less in the way of the adverb. Okay, for example, Minnie studied less diligently than last year. 미니는 작년보다 덜 열심히 공부했어요. Mini is written like this. Last year, 작년. Diligently, 열심히. 공부했어요. Studied. Okay? To study is 공부하다. So past tense, 공부했어요. Now, you have to say studied less diligently than last year. So less diligently is 덜 열심히. Less diligently than last year, 작년보다 덜 열심히. Okay? So here you are focused on comparing the action based on the adverb. Okay? She studied diligently but less than compared to last year. Okay? This week, I will travel less often than last week. 이번 주에는 지난주보다 덜 자주 여행 갈 거예요. This week, 이번 주. Last week, 지난주. To travel, 여행 가다. Future tense, 여행 갈 거예요. To travel less often. 덜 자주 여행 갈 거예요. Travel less often than last week. 지난주보다 덜 자주 여행 갈 거예요. Okay? So this is how we use 보다 덜 with adverbs. And the last example, our mom ran less quickly than that woman. 우리 엄마는 그 여자보다 덜 빨리 달렸어요. Our mom, 우리 엄마. That woman, 그 여자. To run, 달리다. Past tense, 달렸어요. Ran less quickly. 덜 빨리 달렸어요. 빨리 is an adverb to say quickly, right? Ran less quickly than that woman. 그 여자보다 덜 빨리 달렸어요. Okay? So this is how we use 보다 덜 with adverbs. So, in this video, we learned a lot about comparison in Korean language. We learned how to say more than and less than in Korean and how to use them in sentences with adjectives, verbs, and adverbs and counters. So, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe Korean Express YouTube channel. And stay tuned for more such Korean grammar videos. Thank you.